Hello, my name is Allie, and this is the Mystic and Monk channel. We also have a free community with the link at the end. If you'd like to get regular notifications of our videos, please subscribe. And if you like the video, it also helps us to reach more people. So, where we're going to begin today is the ghost story at the inn at Mount Ada. Imagine Catalina Island, an exclusive inn on the top of the hill overlooking the bay, which is the home of the late William Wrigley Jr. His wife was Ada, therefore it was Mount Ada. So at that time, it was back in the late 90s, I was working as a waitress, and I was coming into work about dusk and checking out the area that I was going to be working, just surveying it because I knew that night was going to be very busy. And as I'm looking out, I see a man on the veranda who's wearing a very luxurious tux. It looked to be a vintage tux, and that's not terribly surprising in Avalon, as we do have a lot of period dress-up events. But what was odd is it felt ethereal, but I saw him clear as day. I walked back into the kitchen and I said to the chef, "So we got a wedding tonight?" And he said, "Nope." I said, "We've got an event tonight?" He said, "Nope." I said, I just saw a gentleman out on the veranda and he was wearing a vintage tux." He said, "What did he look like?" And I described him, and he said, "Allie, we need to have a talk, and I'm way too busy right now." He said, "But there's something to what you're saying." And I said, "Is it a ghost?" And he goes, "Yep." And I said, "Are you kidding me?" But I knew it felt weird. So he said, "Something weird's been going on all day today. Just things are popping up in the kitchen in weird places, and then I find them, on top of the refrigerator, or like poltergeisty stuff." He said, "I'm not surprised at all you're having this experience, but get to work. So we'll talk about it later." I go on with my night, and that door to the veranda where I saw the gentleman keeps unlocking and opening all by itself. After several times of checking the door, pulling it closed and locking it, the gentleman who was having dinner at that table grabbed my arm and said, "Miss, you've got a ghost. I know you've got a ghost because I watch you lock that door, turn the lock, and then you walk away, the lock turns on its own, and the door handle opens, and the door comes flying open." He said, "It's not windy. There's no reason for this to be happening. You have a ghost." And I looked at him and I said, "Sir, I believe you're right." And we laughed. And he said, "Have you ever had this happen before?" And I said, "I've worked here for a couple years, and I would say this has never happened before." He said, "I wonder why it's happening tonight." The night progresses on. It's an odd night. We have odd guests. Everybody's rambunctious, and it just feels a little off. At the same time, I'm a psychic, so I start to have a conversation. And I asked, "William, is this you? It feels like it's you. Can you please tell me what you need?" And so then I downloaded that it was his anniversary, his wedding anniversary. And I said, "Are those people bothering you or making you feel like your wedding anniversary is being disrespected in your home?" And that was the general consensus that I got. So at the end of the night, the chef is tired. He doesn't want to talk about it, and I'm cleaning up. And I see that his daughter, who's the dishwasher, is going to be left alone to finish everything up on this spooky night. So I volunteer to stay and help her. Not too far into our cleanup, we hear an explosion. I mean a loud boom, like a crackling pow. We run into the pantry and we see that everything looks the same, but I noticed that inside of the cabinets, all the stemware is completely shattered. Shattered to the point of being like a windshield marble of glass, right? Just obliterated. Interestingly enough, the cabinet doors are this thin glass pane. How did the thick glassware explode and not push from imploding out? How did it not break the glass? Not only that, several cabinets of glassware was completely shattered. It was a big cleanup job. So we cleaned it up and we got through the night. And I'm a little bit worried because I'm the adult. And I returned to work the next day wondering if I still have a job. And I say to the chef, "Do I still have a job?" And he said, "Why? You think it's your fault that you have a supernatural explosion in the pantry?" And I said, "Oh my gosh." He goes, "Allie, I've been thinking about it all day, how I could find a picture of William Wrigley because he didn't like to be photographed. But I talked to the innkeeper because I had explained to her the glass explosion, and I told her that you saw him. I also told her that you told me that you thought it was his wedding anniversary. So she said, I'm going to find out for her. This is all very curious." So sure enough, she finds out that indeed it was William Wrigley Jr.'s wedding anniversary that night. Oddly enough, he said, as I came back into work, he said, "Allie, this table that was giving you so much trouble was actually sitting at William Wrigley Jr.'s dining table when he lived here. And the lady was having a glass of orange juice in the morning, and guess what happened to the glass?" He said it exploded. It exploded so good that it was in tiny pieces. And weirder, it was in her hand. She didn't get cut and nobody got hurt, but we can't figure out how it all happened or how everybody is still safe. But interestingly enough, you saw William Wrigley. You described him perfectly, and it was his anniversary last night. Now let's move on, because nobody can explain this one to anybody. So what do you think? What's interesting about this is that we usually, as psychics, first of all, get impressions. It's on the inside. It's called clairvoyancy. We can see it. It's not as common to be seeing a physical embodiment of a person that is no longer living with such detail that they look like they're a living being. What else is interesting to me about this story is the glass and how physical it was. You know, I have a lot of ghost stories, but not a lot of physical happenings with those ghost stories. But the explosion of the glass is definitely a very interesting addition to the story. And thirdly, what's really nice is the glass exploded in that woman's hand when I was not around. So it was a similar experience, but somebody else had the experience that just aligned to what had happened to me and the chef's daughter the night before. So if you like this video, I have a lot of stories that are psychic, and I would love to have you join us on future videos. I hope you enjoyed it. And our link to our community is here at the end of the video. David and I are so excited to be growing with you on this channel and on our community at Mystic and the Monk. We hope you enjoyed the video today, and we'll catch you on the next one.